Video request from Mark Del Rio. Now, do you live in Elk Grove, like Martino? Just curious. Next video request. Can you please talk about your top 10 favorite cities within Asia? Why? Also, what countries have you been to within that continent? Thanks, and have a nice day. Are you part Ching Chang? Is that what's going on? And like, what race is Martino? Is he Mexican or is he Chinese? Or is he like half Chinese, half Mexican? Anyways. Can you please talk about your top 10 favorite cities within Asia? Why? Okay, well, let me list the ones that I've been to first. Kathmandu, Tokyo, Seoul, Beijing. I mean, not Beijing. Bangkok. Jakarta. Jesus, I've only gotten to 5 cities. Dude, you asked me a lot of cities, man. I can only name 5. How about, can you name 5 cities, 10 cities in Asia? Singapore, that's 6. And then there's little podunk little cities that I don't even remember the names of them. So, favorite cities within Asia? I'd have to say Tokyo would be my favorite, even though I was only there for 3 days. It's really big. It's the biggest city in the world in terms of like population. It's got like 30 million people. It's not as big as LA, but it's close. It's fucking huge. It's way bigger than the second biggest city. Second biggest cities have like 20 million. Tokyo's got like fucking 30 million. But they've got a lot of cool stuff. They've got Fuji Mountain in the background, you know. It looks pretty. It's kind of next to the sea. I value cities based on like how pretty they are, you know, and also, you know, if they have interesting culture, and I like the culture of the country. So that's number 1. Number 2, I'd have to say Bangkok. Bangkok is just a really cool place. It's got all the canals all up and down it, so you can get around by boat. It's kind of like Amsterdam. And then they have sexually, they're fucking crazy liberal. I didn't check out that scene as much as I should have, but all sorts of prostitution and like naked dancers, and I heard chicks who could grab your dick out of your pants in the bars. I didn't go to that one, but if I go back, I will, if I can find it. Oh yeah, and then they have their central area is really well preserved, like the feudalistic castle. All these there's like a little city within a city, you know, with these like golden covered buildings and statues, you know, like the reclining Buddha, and that was pretty. That was cool. I like seeing stuff like that, the touristy stuff. Yeah, so that would be number 2. Number 3, okay, well, Kathmandu. Kathmandu is like kind of a hellhole. It's like really polluted, but it's got a really cool view of the mountains around it, and it's just really peaceful. I like the energy there. There's a lot of old history and really friendly people, and you know, ancient customs like in India with the sadhus and stuff, and it's just an interesting place to live. It's a cool place to be. Like if I was to choose a place if you were to give me 50 grand and tell me to live somewhere, I'd go to Kathmandu. You know? Yeah, so number 3, I'd say Seoul. You know, it's a clean city. It's very safe. Koreans are very, you know, it's easy to hang out with Koreans. Like if you're a foreigner or whatever, you're always going to be able to find Koreans who are going to want to be your friend and hang out with you and stuff, which is really cool, and who are going to be friendly. And also stranger Koreans who will invite you to do karaoke with them or whatever. There's also a lot of angry Koreans who don't like you and stuff, but they're not dangerous. You know, most of the time, they're probably drunk off their ass anyway. Yeah, and then Jakarta is a big city, which I'd probably die if I went there again. So I'm not going to put them at that because of all the pollution. But the little towns around there are nice in Indonesia. I can't name any of them. Singapore looked pretty, but it also looked very close-minded. You know, like not a place I would want to live at all. I'd choose those other places above that. But that's all I can think of. I didn't go to India and all those cities and stuff. So yeah, that's all I can say, dude. What? Okay. Also, what countries have you been to within that continent? Okay, Nepal, Korea, Japan, China, Tibet, Thailand, Malaysia. So that's in Indonesia. So that's 7 countries. And Indonesia was my favorite. Really, those people bouncing off the walls. Interesting place. A lot of energy there. And I went to China or Australia, but I guess that's Oceania. That's not Asia. It's Oceania. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. Okay, peace out.